Welcome to Tailboard Talk, a fourth shift fitcast. The mission of Tailboard Talk and the fourth shift fitness is to educate and train fire service personnel to increase durability and decrease the potential for injuries and their associated costs. My name is Chris Morella, owner and founder of Fourth Shift Fitness. I'll use my experience as a personal trainer, strength coach, and 15-year veteran of the fire service to deliver tips, tricks, lessons, and information specifically geared towards the health and wellness of firefighters and paramedics. Each episode, you'll leave with immediate deliverables that will improve performance and resilience and keep you in the fight through your career and into retirement. Let's get into it. Yeah, it should be okay. Hey everyone, welcome to Tailboard Talk. Fourth Shift Fitcast here, Chris and Curt, and we're in LGN again today recording. It's just a few days after Christmas. Our last episode was all about crew gifts and whatnot, and Curt made it very clear that he really wanted gloves for his crew gift. So I did something that Katie frequently does to me. If I tell Katie I want gloves, these specific type of gloves, and that's all I want, I'll get something else. And so that's what I did to you. I did not get you gloves.
Perfect.
I got you this, and you're gonna like it. We had this on Christmas. Someone brought it in, and it was phenomenal. And so I went the other direction. You didn't get gloves, you got jelly.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's really good. It's spicy, and I bought a jar for myself too. It's at Jewel. They have like 5 different kinds of it there.
Nice.
They had a raspberry one that would probably be good with Taylor's bread.
Ooh, yeah.
But I haven't tried that one. I tried this one. This one would be perfect for like egg rolls because we had on crackers with salami and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Much obliged.
Yeah, you're going to really like it.
This reminds me of, as I see jalapeno on here, do you remember one of the last times you were in this building with jalapenos?
Yeah. Those were not jalapenos.
I don't know what those were.
That was insanity.
Blood peppers.
It was like jalapeno and beef or something. What kind of pizza was it?
I don't know what we got on. I know there were
Jalapenos. It's something. It was insane.
Yeah, we rolled all the turf out, right? So we installed the turf.
Yeah.
And then we ordered pizza, and the jalapenos on the pizza were so hot that we were literally laughing, sweating so much in the office.
We were so hungry.
Yes.
And
So
I don't think I ate
couldn't
more than
stop,
like a piece.
but also it was awful.
It was so hot. And regular jalapenos I'm down with.
Yeah. These were not regular jalapenos.
Yeah, the only jalapenos I have problems with are ones that people grow in their gardens. They're hot.
Yeah.
But jalapenos out of a can, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
These were crazy, man. I have noticed, though, dude, ever since COVID, so I lost taste and smell like everybody did, right? I don't know if it reset my taste buds, but I can deal with a little more spicy now. Totally changed my taste in coffee. Like, I'm all about the light roast now as opposed to, like, the dark roast. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it just reset.
Really?
Or what's going on.
I don't think I noticed anything. I mean, I lost my taste and smell too, but I can't think of anything that tastes different to me now.
I also told you my proprioception went to shit. Like, I've been bumping into things constantly. Like, I've run into more door frames and, like, knocked more stuff off of tables with my hips. I don't think they're getting wider. Like, dude, I'm just running into shit all the time. And I'm like, what is going on here? I just have no idea where my body is. I guess I guess I can deal with running into stuff if I can handle more spicy food. That seems like a fair trade-off for me.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. You updated me on what you're getting your crew, and it was, blockbuster.
There's a local butcher here that sells these beef snack sticks with a bunch of different flavor varieties. So everyone in the crew got 2 pounds of those.
2 pounds?
2 pounds.
Oh, my God. That's a hefty gift.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about them, bringing them in. The downside of that is the shady side of that is I bought this jerky dip from there also, which is great on like wheat thins or Ritz crackers and stuff. And I started eating it like right before lunch and realized it was too good to leave there, so I just hit it and brought it home.
Really?
Yeah.
They got 2 pounds of beef sticks. But,
Yeah, we had too much food there anyways.
Be grateful for what you have, is what I say. Yeah, we had a ton. I did the easy button, man. We went to, I looked at my crew the day before, and I was like, well, I'll be cooking. There's no one else here that's going to do that.
That's a shallow crew if that's
it was
the first option, right?
Yeah, good crew. No, not the cooking crew. We had a probationary guy and then another guy that just doesn't cook. So And then the ambulance, I wasn't going to put it on them. So I did the Costco trip. I did brunch. We made homemade McGriddles for
I saw.
breakfast.
I voted no on the foil working. Did it work?
It cooked them very well.
Yeah.
So I found a measuring cup and used that as the mold. So I smashed it real flat, and then I sprayed the whole thing. But even with it being flat, like if a little bit of it's gapped away from the pan, like that heat's not getting through.
Yeah.
So it was a pain in the butt to get it all evenly heated, and then getting it out was a nightmare. Like you'd lose a third of the egg. Yeah. So I just went back. I just made that one big pan of eggs and covered that, and then I just cut circles out of it with a spatula. And it's the easiest way to do it.
Yep.
I'm learning. It's always easy making it at home for Katie and Nathan because you make like 4 of them. Mm-hmm. Making it for 5 or 6 people was a struggle when I did it for you guys.
Well, it's 5 or 6 people who are going to eat more than one, too.
Yeah. So I streamlined it. What I needed to do is learn how to make sheet pancakes and sheet eggs. Mm-hmm. And then they'll be like whoever makes square burgers, whatever restaurant did that, Wendy's or whatever,
Wendy's,
make square patties.
Yep.
Then they'll just be square stuff. Yeah. And it'll be phenomenal, but everything will time out much better. Mm-hmm. And then for dinner we did Costco stuff. Big giant chicken pot pie, big giant kale salad. Ryan brought in the roasted carrots or something like that. Mm-hmm. Big giant Costco pumpkin pie. And then he brought in homemade ice cream.
His wife makes really good ice cream.
Crazy ice cream. It was like some cookie variation of ice cream. Ice cream saved the pie. The pie was just okay. Mm-hmm. Ice cream saved it. So you've seen the way that the containers he uses?
Yeah. He
brought that to Station 7, and they finished it and threw away the containers.
Those jerks. I remember that because that was the first time that I had Ryan's wife's homemade ice cream.
Yeah.
And I had to yell at him because he was our new guy at Station 4 for like 7 months before I found that stuff at Station 7.
Yeah.
And so we had a discussion about that. And,
yeah.
We had some ice cream at Station 4 pretty quickly after that.
But it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so I told the ambulance, like, you guys can bring something if you want, but don't worry about it. I told the driver, I'm like, you're not going to contribute much, so just be yourself. And then then Ryan's on probation, so he's not supposed to cook or really contribute, like, as a rule that our department has. But I called him and said, hey, you're not supposed to cook or contribute, but definitely bring some ice cream to dinner. Right. Like, we're breaking the rules this time. You're going to contribute to this meal. And he wanted to make a carrot thing anyways, but he said his wife will make, like, on demand. She'll just hunker down and make as much as anybody wants.
She makes, we had a cookies and cream one for her, and it was like double cookies plus cream. It was like you search through Oreos to find ice cream. It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good, man. So, yeah, that'll be his treat from now on. But overall, good. We had a busy shift. Were you guys busy at night?
We were busy, yeah. We went out a couple times at night, and the ambulance they were out most of the night.
Yeah, I think everybody went to bed around 2, and then we were all up at 5 or 5:30 again.
We started with I worked the night before too, so we started with like a little oven fire, and then I think we kicked off the night with the lady who was going crazy on shrooms. I don't know if you heard that.
I did. Yeah. I heard it dispatched, yeah.
Yeah, so that was that kicked off I think the night for everybody on Christmas Day night, and then most people were out after that.
Yeah, it was busy, man. It was.
We also we'll tie some episodes together here. So the apple fritters that were referenced in last episode.
Yes.
So that guy who brought them in, he started at Station 6. So you guys went on a full still up north, and in Station 6, Engine 6 had to go on it. Well, they called me en route and said, we left our pie in the oven. Can you please go turn it off? So we went there, and it was just barely starting to cringe a little bit on the end. But I also noticed a case of fritters on the counter, which I accepted as payment for
a dozen of them?
There were 7 of them, but still, it was worth it. So those relocated to Station 4, and
if they weren't eating them by then, they were done eating them.
True. That was the other thing too. Is if you guys are going to leave it till this late at night, then sorry.
I've worked with people. So one guy Kick brought in, had his wife bring over a nothing bundt cake. Mm-hmm. Enormous, right? It's like how big are those things? Like 20 inches. Mm-hmm. It's just an enormous thing. It's got to be 5 or 6 inches high. Of this dense bundt cake with like an inch thick of frosting on top of it. And so he called us all in to have some, and his family had some. I mean, this was like obviously more than 2 years ago now. And there's probably about half of it left. And so then his family left. So that was like at 7 o'clock at night. And then at like 9:30 at night, he called everybody back in the kitchen. He's like, we're either going to eat the rest of this or I'm throwing it over the fence because I'm not letting tomorrow's shift have any of this. And so we sat there and I think we ate almost all of it. And I think he threw like whatever tiny little sliver there was out.
Yeah.
But we stayed up until like 11 o'clock trying to stomach down this cake.
I love with him too is he'll bring a coffee cake in the morning and we'll start eating it. And every time he walks by, he goes, "Hey, who brought this in?" And then I'll take another slice, and that just goes on repeat until it's gone. But
yeah, I'm like, man, I respect that. Well, we're coming up on, so today's Tuesday, Monday, whatever. This will overlap New Year's Eve, because we work on New Year's Eve. And so this is one of the last episodes before the next year. The last episode? Who knows? Hot topic for every year is like the New Year's resolution thing, right? Mm-hmm. And probably the most, I don't want to say obnoxious, but false statement ever of like the new year, new you, or new me, whatever. We've had a kind of a front row view of the difference between an export or a lifetime versus a gym like this versus what guys do at work, a wide variety. Versus kind of seeing Instagram come through and all the influencers in there really push like goofy programs that use all the words we kind of talked about last time,
right?
Like the whatever, transform yourself or play on the emotional side of it, right? One of the cool things about this gym is that there was never a very big surge, right? And the people that did come in usually kind of got hooked and stuck with it, so it was a nice, refreshing perspective at it.
Our surge is more people who are here already, just coming back in more frequently.
Yeah.
But I think also our surge was a little bit masked by we shut down a lot more than those other gyms. So like over Christmas here, we were closed the 24th, 25th, 26th. So everyone had to funnel into, a short week.
Yeah. And
then we'll be closed again New Year's Eve, New Year's Day in the morning after New Year's Day. So again, everyone funnels in. But yeah, in terms of like, New Year's, like I'm going to start and join a new gym. I mean, maybe we get a slight uptick of inquiries, leading into the new year. But gyms like this, I think people, when they want to do it, they just do it. It's not like someone in September is like, well, I'll wait till the New Year's and start. It's like, this is what I want to do, so I'll go do it, So yeah, there just wasn't, a lot of New Year's rush. And we never, on the downside of it, it might be our fault because we never did a ton of promotions either to be like, hey, come in for $1 for January, or like some of the other places do, and we don't have initiation fees, so it's not like we had anything to promote.
We've talked about this before with pricing in general. Like you can't bring someone in at a cut rate because you're still performing the same work.
Right.
Like whether you come in January 1st or halfway through the year, you're still going to get the same intake and assessment and then attention during the classes, right? That's the difference between this and like a big box is that you get a discount because you're just showing up, and then whatever you decide to do is up to you. But here, you're not. That's not the same thing. So it's almost unfair. Like if I was a member who paid full price all the way through because I wanted to be here and took the initiative on myself, and then I see someone come in for like $1 and they're getting the same amount of coaching that I am. I'd be like, well, I've been here for 5 years doing a good job. Why?
Right.
What's going on here?
And that's why we pretty much stopped. We don't have any discounts anymore. It's been years since we've offered discounts or anything. And we do referrals. If you bring someone in, we'll throw you a couple free visits. But we don't do any discounted memberships anymore because you're right. Well, one, you're devaluing yourself. And it's like, and then two, you're right. If someone's been here 7 years and they're talking to someone else who's getting a price 20% cheaper, it's like a real kick in the jewels to that person that's been here for so long.
And I mean, there's a difference too between appreciation and like giving someone a deal,
Right.
I think what we chose to do here a lot was we would show our appreciation by paying more attention to people, not giving them a break on their pricing. Like the price is going to stay the same, but if you perceive it this way, you can see it as like your value is going up because for the amount you're paying, you're getting twice as much attention because of whatever reason. You're engaged or we like you or you've done a great job and you're actually receptive to the coaching.
Right.
So some people are like, no, I'd rather have $25 off, please. I'm like, well, that's great, but you're not. So please see it the other way where we value.
You're a first responder, you're $25 more. So I know you're going to be a hassle.
Well, I might discount them only because I know they won't show up as much either.
Right, that's
so that's
true.
actually
You're
the perfect client.
You're getting a value out of them anyways.
That's a safe bet. That actually is the export model, right?
Right.
You're going to pay and not show up. You're the perfect client. on the big box side, like you worked at Export,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of where everybody funneled through, right?
Yep.
I can't remember when it happened, but I remember having the same feelings that a lot of people do. It's an incorrect feeling of like, great, we're going to go in there, and for the first 3 months, it's going to be jammed up,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then, but I think that's changed. I'm kind of on the other side now of like, hey man, if somebody's going to go in January, even if it's not going to last, like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more crowded, but I appreciate that person trying at least to get in there, you know? And I'm not in that position. It could be extremely frustrating, but it's also not a surprise.
Yeah, it's frustrating on the admin side because you get people, bickering over treadmill time and stuff like that. And, you know, so it's like on that side of it, it always sucked. But, yeah, in terms of the volume side of it now and just the people committing to wellness, I can't fault them for that at this point.
No, I mean, and that could be a place like that. I'm not sure what would be more intimidating as like a novice coming into a place like this or a place like Export, because you can be relatively anonymous going into a big place, right? But here you're going to get more care and attention. But either way, if someone's going to go through the effort of looking up somewhere and leaving their house at this point and then going into somewhere and risking looking like an idiot, or learning something new, then I've definitely changed my mentality on that.
I go back and forth too, because here you're going to come in and obviously you're going to be a bit under the microscope, and you can't hide really.
Yeah.
But there I can also understand, that you go in and you're just like, what is going on here? Like, and who's doing stuff right? Who's using these machines right and wrong?
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, there's, I mean, certainly we've seen some interesting uses of equipment shared in our Instagrams with Raph, but so it's like if you have no clue, you go in and watch someone use it. It's like,
and that can end your training journey really quick, right?
Well, and you pick up a program that's like you need dumbbells, and you walk upstairs to meet heads of dumbbells. I'm sure that's a pretty big turn off too. Be like,
oh yeah,
I just need these 15s here real quick.
I don't want to go to the stretching area to use my 15-pound dumbbells. Yeah, I haven't been inside of an Export in a long time. I imagine that all the regular territories are still marked out.
I'm sure it's still the same.
Plus a CrossFit room or something like that, where it's just chaos all the time. I will say that I can't remember anybody specifically who came here on a New Year's resolution, but like you said, referral-wise, I think some of our best clients have come from referrals and stuff like that. So
always, our best clients have always been referral network people. And they're our best salespeople, to be honest. If you make an impact on somebody and they tell their 3 closest friends about it, I think too, I've certainly had both things. So I think you're going to get people bring in people who they think are going to be a good fit. So there's less salesmanship that has to happen at that point. I've also had people on the other side be like, call me in advance, be like, I'm sorry, I told someone about your gym. And
that was one of the nice things we saw over the course of LGN that was like, because it was small and the people who didn't like the coaching style or the attention or whatever just left. Like over time, as opposed to other gyms, like if someone came in here and chalked up and like took off their shirt, they would get looked at like a crazy person who's chalking up and taking off their shirt, you know, like that. The environment that grew here was like an organic kind of thing, and then, like you said, the people were referring were more in line with the atmosphere here as opposed to just someone who enjoys fitness and let's see if they like what they're doing.
Yeah, I think we had a good. They filtered for us, so we didn't get a lot of word of mouth clients that were like a surprise to us.
Yeah, people more wanted to say like, oh, I like hanging out with this person, so let's go work out, instead of like, hey, this guy's a really good exerciser, why don't you challenge him? And those people were mostly out of town pass-throughs. Who were bummed, like super bummed, and then you usually asked to stay after and do their own.
Either that, or we'd get someone who'd be like, yeah, I've been working on so and so to come in, and then they finally get them to come in, and it's some therapy day where we're using 2.5 pound plates the whole day, and it's like, swing and miss on this one.
Sorry. Still challenging. But, I mean, if you see the value in that, though, and you can trust that that's just one of those days, and if you come back 2 other days this week, you're going to get crushed under a bar or get put through the ringer on the turf. Yeah, that's just you got to put a little faith in the process sometimes, even if you don't know what the process is, I suppose. What are you going to be doing? I don't do New Year's resolutions.
I don't either.
because I failed a lot of them.
That's what I mean. That's what happens with them.
Yeah, I mean, I fail mid-years resolutions also.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I've committed to reading more or like journaling or writing or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I do it really, really well for a very, very short period of time. But, I mean, how do you get someone started on? How would you effectively use the next week or so as a catalyst for someone though? Have you done something in the past to like, okay, maybe we've just been knowing this has been an issue or something we should start doing, and this is just an opportune time because the rest of the world thinks it is, or just not even care, just wait?
I don't even care. I just wait. It's once you start putting constraints on something, I feel like you're devaluing whatever the process is that you're trying to do. So if you're doing 40 days without alcohol or 40 days without social media, but on day 41 you're going to start it again. Like, what's the point? So for me, it's resolutions are just more about habit changes if you're going to actually like be consistent with something. But we know that those are a process too, and it's whether you use like, SMART goals or anything like that, you have to make it attainable and realistic. And then what do you want on the other side of whatever you're trying to, create your resolution for, and if your goal is just to prove to yourself that you can do something for time, then awesome. A resolution's fine for that. But if you want to actually make a change, then I think there needs to be some more planning into it.
I mean, that was always our biggest gripe with like Whole30.
Yeah.
And that I actually can't think of any other one besides that off the top of my head, because that just spins up so many thoughts about that thing of like using it as a diet, using it as a quote unquote reset,
Right.
And then after the Whole30 is up, you're like, oh, thank God that's over. Like, I feel so much better. I lost a bunch of weight. Time to go start eating my vegan Oreos.
We get a lot of people who be like, 9 days left. And it's like, well, why'd you do 21 if you're excited to be done with it? You know? So,
I mean, it's effective, right? You can drop 10 or 15 pounds in 30 days. But, the whole point of that, from what I understand, was to cut out nearly everything, methodically add stuff back in to see if you have an issue with it or what you like or what you don't like. And then from that experience, you've now narrowed down or at least identified foods that affect you in certain ways, and you go forward with that newly found wisdom, for lack of a better word. And we had people that would do Whole30 4 or 5 times a year, because they're like, oh, I got a trip coming up, trying to do another Whole30. And I guess that's a great parallel to like the New Year's resolution thing is like, you can do a quick fix kind of deal.
Right.
But I think some of the most effective changes I made, I can't tell you what point of the year they were made in. It was usually at either a desperation point. And that's either physical or mental. Like, I can't stand up anymore without my hip exploding, not as an example.
Yeah, or Katie's going to slit your throat at night if I do this one more
time. I
gotta
put a bedroom in the other room. Yeah, I got the adaptation isn't exactly what we were going for, right? There's no conflict resolution, it's just more avoidance, but there's a measure taken either way. But it's usually at a point of desperation or like finally exhausted of being in denial of it, or less likely, you're like, okay, maybe I can't solve this problem. And instead of just being like, well, I guess I'll live with it. Right. I guess I'll just live with this shitty part of me for a while. And then you have to go outside for assistance. But it hasn't been a seasonal thing. It's been a as needed basis. And then the best way that I found is to like go outside and outside of your own brain, and then find a professional to do it. Yeah. Which I guess, thinking back on what we've been talking about, then is probably the reason like the export of lifetime resolutioners fall off, because they're probably not consulting a professional. They're either going with their friend or alone. Right. And after the first 4 to 6 weeks, stuff stops working and you don't know what to do anymore. And then it becomes more than you can handle, Right. That's something that we've always kind of preached is like,
well, that's the thing is you get shot out of a cannon, and you're like, you're there 4 or 5 times a week. Well, then life starts happening again. And priorities change, and now you're there 2-3 times a week. And then we get back into, what we talked about before of, you're not working out as much as you think you are, and you're eating more than you think you are, and that combination.
I got this Apple Watch. I finally bought one. I don't do a lot.
Just end scene.
The rings aren't closing, man. Yeah. And I don't care. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Right. It's just
highlighted.
It's just highlighted.
But I noticed
what I speculated.
I don't. Yeah. I haven't done a lot, so I stopped using the Whoop strap months ago, 6 months ago, because it got to the point where it's an extremely effective diagnostic tool. But at a certain point, you get it. You're like, okay, that's who I am, and I can control so many things, but I can't control ambulance too, Right. And so it's nice. It's nice to know that information, but it's going to be the same information for the next 7 to 17 years, depending on my career. Right. So got rid of it. So I'm like, I get it. Yeah, a year worth of data is enough for me. Got the Apple Watch basically just for texting. It's just more convenient, and I don't have the self-control to send a text and then put my phone back in my pocket.
Is that really that easy to text off of?
It's very easy to read.
Yeah.
And then the voice to text is really good.
Is that what you used to text me the other day?
Yes.
Okay.
And I said in there, I'm curious to see how this comes out. And it didn't. But it was it was somebody's last name. I mean, there's no chance at that one. And it's not an okay last name.
No. Jones.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was. Oh, so I don't do a lot. So I started getting this, and I wasn't going to use the fitness side of it. But I am curious to see, how does the heart rate track? Is it effective? Because I think overall the Apple Watch is considered the least accurate of a fitness tracker. And it's okay. I've used it for a few workouts, and it's fine. It works good for a stopwatch, and it's nice to know within 10 beats what my heart rate's doing. But I've seen before, Katie has had one of these for years, and she'll walk around the house at night to close her rings, I guess that's a good thing. It's funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get into it that much because I'm pretty secure with not doing things and then doing a lot of stuff on other days and just crushing myself. But that highlighted that. It gives me these shitty little passive-aggressive prompts. We went on calls in the morning, then I put my watch on after work, and I was out running around before I went home. So I was walking around for an hour, picking up stuff for Christmas or whatever. And it said, keep going, you're doing much better than yesterday. I was like, I wasn't even wearing you yesterday. Shut up. Or I put it on to do one workout at work, and then I took it off again.
Yeah.
So I had it on for an hour and a half. And so I did my workout, then sat around for a little bit and stretched, blah, blah. So it's compared to yesterday, you're really killing it.
Thanks.
Wow. Yeah. So to be continued. I like it. I like it for the business side of stuff. It is nice, but yeah.
Here I actually don't like them because people at the hardest part of the workout, they'll look at it.
Yeah.
And then they're basing their workout off of that. So today, a couple times today, so we have pro short shuttles today. And that was when people were looking at,
in between, what?
Yeah. So we have 4 of them today, and they were just maybe when they were done doing 4 and moving back over to whatever we're doing, some squat hops over there. But it's it was certainly not the focus of the day today.
Yeah.
But everything's going to be based off of what that number was or wasn't. And
it's super distracting.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't get one for the longest time. That's why I like the Whoop, because it was just a sensor.
Yeah.
No readout whatsoever. But yeah, like I said, I don't possess the self-control to send a text or read a text and then put my phone away I'm on.
I don't know how it is with you either. So for me, if I'm working out, anything could stop me from doing that. And I watch that here too, is that people will be doing something and, someone will text them and they'll stop one arm to look at their, and I'm like, so. Yeah. And I know for me, if I had that on my wrist, it would be the same thing. And I'd be like, all right, well, I guess I better check the internet for some stuff.
I got to watch videos for 15 minutes. They do have a focus thing now on. Okay. It's just a do not disturb. It's just a fancy do not disturb. And then it sends a message back that says I'm not getting notifications right now.
See, I just have that on all the time.
Yeah. But then it has a thing
focusing
that says,
all 24
I'll do
hours.
it to some guys and it'll say so-and-so is not accepting messages. And then it says notify them anyway. So you can just force one through. Yeah. And I know that there's some people that violate that on a frequent basis with people that we work with.
I can tell you right now, if you sent that back to me, I would be like, not so fast. Here's a picture of a kitty.
That's this is important. Check your phone. I mean, it's as obnoxious as the old Nextel beep of paging someone, you know, and they didn't pick up their phone. You're like, beep, beep. Are you looking to do anything different next year? Not really, right? I mean, you kind of talked. I'm not looking. We all know who we are at this point.
We do.
That's the biggest lie of New Year, new you. It's the same you. You might just try to do stuff a little bit different, and you might do stuff different, but it's the same. Yeah, same you. I'd like to get rid of a lot of that. I've really been coming down hard on motivational quotes lately, like what's it called? The the common ones that everybody knows.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Oh yeah, it definitely almost kills you.
The sweat is
pain. No, pain
fat
is weakness.
crying or something like that. Pain
Fat
is weakness
crying.
leaving the body.
Pain is weakness leaving the body. No, it's weakness entering your body in
Yeah.
a very specific
Right.
area. Like it actually is exactly weakness entering a specific joint in your body. That's what pain is, and it'll persist too. It'll make you weaker and weaker.
I might change a little bit. I think we're gonna have the home gym up and running pretty soon here.
Sweet.
We're painting Taylor's painting Sid's room right. Taylor and Sid are painting Sid's room right now, and she's got bunk beds which we're moving downstairs and moving the queen size bed upstairs.
Nice.
And that should free up some room in that room to put a landmine in and.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
From there, yeah.
Getting back, that's one. I didn't realize how much I missed lifting heavy until I was like, I'll try deadlifting and squatting again. You know, just for funsies. Actually, it was probably ego driven. I probably saw someone doing it on Instagram. I was like, I could do that. Yeah. And then, of course, I could not. But my relative measure of heavy felt good again. Yeah. And then that's what I do now. A lot of times, I might run through like a circuit. But if I just hit like a deadlift and a pull up or something like that, you're sending the signal that's necessary. The rest of it's nice for your cardiovascular system, and you'll definitely get that if you choose to. Yeah. But
I'm just ready to, I like I said before, I love kettlebells. I'm just ready for something heavier than a 61-pound kettlebell, Yeah,
you're ready for a 90-pound landmine.
Yeah, a 65.
90-pound landmine to crush you.
A landmine with a 25-pound plate on it.
Yep.
That's it.
Barbell weight. You can even use that, what did I get? Safety squat bar? Yeah, I got one of those, right? That works on a landmine too.
Does it?
Yeah, you can put it in there, and even when you squat down low, or you can put it down, it'll pivot out of the way, and the bumper plate's high enough where the arched part of it doesn't hit the ground.
Okay.
So that was cool because that's a versatile bar in itself.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have a straight bar, if you have a safety squat bar, because that's the only way you can back squat, that can be used too. Because Mickey got one, and I was like, well, I'll give you a landmine attachment like an old one I had. Not yours. I gave that to somebody else. No, I still have that one. And maybe it was yours. I might have given Mickey your old one.
Maybe.
Man, you got your truck and now your landmine.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I got a safety squat bar. And so we tried it in my garage, and it worked. Worked fine. I guarantee he hasn't done it, but he can.
He's got the manta ray back out. Right? Is that what the thing was called?
The manta ray. Yeah. He's got the kettlebell handle that clips to the dumbbell. He's got the bar pad. He has 2 total gyms next to each other.
Okay, perfect.
Not set up. He's got what else does he have? He had like all the gimmicky stuff. He'll go find it at a Goodwill and buy it for like 12 cents and just collects the stuff. He's shredded old man, shredded 95-year-old.
Yep.
All right, dude. Anything else for New Year, same you?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, how much can you really change?
I mean, if there's not a new year, new you, then we don't have much to contribute to it, right?
Yeah. Different date, same you.
Yep.
Sorry to say it. All right. If you guys need anything, don't be afraid to reach out. I'll post all of our contact stuff in the show notes, or just go to Fourth Shift Fitness on all social media. That's the one. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Be a Fourth Shifter.